Hey, welcome to Kernersville, North Carolina, the tech capital of the world. It is raining cats and dogs here, Kevin. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, we got a weird weather day today, but hey, it's
I,
it's not 114 like it is for
yeah, exactly.
uh Raymond out there
In Kuwait.
in Kuwait.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. I'll take the rain any day.
So I think 72 and a little bit of rain is better than 114 in the desert. I'm feel with you, Raymond.
Yeah.
I would switch to.
Have you been to one of those climates where it's like that, like desert heat? Have you been to like Arizona or
I've
anything?
never really left. I've only been to the Dominican. I've never really left the country,
Okay.
but I've
Diff
been out west, and I've
okay.
been to Phoenix, Arizona,
Oh, there you go. That
and
totally counts. I mean, I mean,
yeah,
Phoenix is ridiculous. It's crazy.
yeah.
Same in the desert
I
in
remember
Nevada. You
going
go
to
to
a
Vegas,
conference
it's
in
nuts.
Phoenix and stepping out of the convention center. It was 135 downtown Phoenix. It was just like you thought your shoes were going to melt on the street.
Yeah,
So it was
yeah,
hot.
it's stupid. I had a similar thing. It was in Vegas and it was 100 and something. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is just you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. It's crazy.
yeah. But
Yeah,
it's a dry heat, Kevin.
yeah, exactly. That's what everyone says. Yeah, oh, it's a dry heat. Don't worry. Yeah, it's hot. It doesn't matter what kind
Yeah,
of heat it is. It's hot.
I'm still
Um,
cooking though. That's
hey, it's
still
the
a deal.
exactly. It's the second day of Prime Day today.
Okay.
You buy
Did you
anything?
get anything?
No.
I did not buy
Like,
anything.
I didn't buy anything.
No.
I saw there's some cool tech stuff on there. There was some cool those lacy rugged drives. They had those on sale.
Yeah.
But they were the
Right.
USB 3 versions, not the USB C versions. So the like an older
Right.
generation ones. I was like, I don't know, for $100 though, for like a 4 TB one of those, pretty good.
I I did
Um,
look yesterday, but I was trying to find a graphics card for all reasons. Like that, those aren't on sale. So I'm
that's
going to
funny.
upgrade
Yeah,
the edit
not
bay
gonna.
here in the office, and I just need I need a new graphics card. So I'm trying
Yeah,
to find a.
good luck. Good luck.
No, no.
You seriously can't find them. Trust me, if I could have bought a 3080 in the last year, I would have bought it.
Well, it won't be a
That's
3080. I'm hoping to just get a 2070 or something. Something like that.
Oh,
So
you could find those. You can find. I mean,
yeah,
you still got to pay a premium for them. Though. That's the problem. But I did hear
yeah,
that stuff's turning around now. I did hear
yeah.
that they're
They need
becoming
to.
more available. It's like I saw a stat that somebody was talking about the amount of PlayStations they'd sold through eBay, and it was like millions of them. I was like, so the aftermarket for
Wow.
these things is like nuts. So and it's going up. So they are selling more now, and the prices are coming down
Mhm.
apparently. So we may have hit the top, and it's on its way down. So that's good.
So would you like sell a PlayStation for a above market price? Or
Nah,
you wouldn't flip
nah,
it like that? Take
nah,
advantage of people?
nah. I'm not. No, I wouldn't. I have an Xbox. I got that from Microsoft on day one, and I could have flipped that for
Wow.
like double the price, and I didn't. I kept it. I'm not saying I haven't flipped things before for a profit, but
Some shoes,
um,
some
some
sneakers.
shoes for sure. I mean, the sneaker market's huge. I've definitely done that. I'll only ever buy shoes that I want. I'll buy sneakers that I want that I'm gonna wear because if they don't
Right.
like go up, I mean, but I've flipped a pair of Jordans for like ridiculous money before. Like, yeah, I spent two
Nice.
hundred bucks
I've never done
for
that.
it.
I always wanted to. So yeah.
Oh, I've bought a pair of shoes for $200 and flipped them for 800. You
Right.
can't not at that. Like, if somebody's gonna offer you that amount of money for 4 times the value of them, I'm like, okay, I guess. Like, I don't want them that bad. Like I do, but I don't.
So in my life, we didn't talk about this in the pre-production. Man, I'm just gonna add some content here. So like, and it's not important, but like,
Go for it.
my mom found some comic books from my childhood, and I put it up bit on
Yes,
Twitter. It was a 250 comics from the 80s,
awesome. I saw your
and
pictures. We haven't really talked about this.
one of them is a Wolverine #1
Oh, that's awesome.
that I would personally rate at like an 8.5 or 9, which is unbelievable. That was in a cardboard box. Like, it
Sometimes
still
you
has
get
the
lucky.
sheen on the cover. There's no tears on it. So like, so it's the brown one when he's got his claw up like that. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, that's awesome.
Anyway,
That's awesome. That's cool to like find something
so
like from way back too that you own too. It's not like you didn't
yeah,
buy these from someone. You actually bought them like at the time from the comic
yeah,
shop. It's like
exactly.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Like that's
it's
very
pretty cool.
cool.
But there's a lot of comics in there. I'll have to show you. But like like I think the other ones that are really famous are the Secret Wars collection, the original Secret Wars. I have
Yep.
all 12 issues, which has Spider-Man, first appearance of the Venom black suit Spider-Man issue 8, which I have that, and it's not a near mint, but it's a very fine condition, which is
Right.
unbelievable. Like these were just thrown in a box. I mean, like, but happened where they landed, they were stacked on top of each other like that, and those few were they stay flat. So
that's great. Yeah, the fact that they've been in a box, they've been away from sunlight, they haven't been water damaged. Yeah. That's the two biggest things that like happen to these comics.
Yeah. Now it's not as valuable, but I'm holding out hope for it. Kind of like like GameStop or whatever is my Moon Knight collection, which is like 1 through 20.
Yeah.
So hopefully when the show comes out, maybe Moon Knight will have like a resurgence. I don't know.
Maybe.
So
anyway. Yeah, maybe. We've been waiting for that for a long time now, though. So
we'll I know. So it was pretty cool looking through all those covers, and you remember all those covers as a kid. So it was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. That's very cool. Very, very cool.
That wasn't our big announcement that I found comic books. That wasn't our big announcement.
That's it. Let's roll. We'll see you guys on
pictures.
Thursday.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all we're doing today. I tell you what we're not doing today. Just to get it out of the way, we're not giving you the date for the course today.
Not yet.
So throw that out there.
So, fortunately, not today.
Not today. But we do have another big announcement today.
And I think it's a huge announcement, like for us, for the bootcamp in general. And so today, if you go look at codafoundry.com, one of the things that we're really excited about for all the future bootcamp grads is that now we've officially partnered with Tech Systems. And Tech Systems is a national recruiting firm that's going to power our graduates and help us place them into jobs. So we're super excited about Tech Systems to do that, which means that not only when you come to the bootcamp, you'll get assigned to work with a recruiter inside of Tech Systems, and that's regardless of where you're at. So like Tech Systems being national means that if you're taking the bootcamp from California or you're taking it from Indiana or North Carolina, it doesn't matter what state you're in. Now we can push you into a recruiting relationship with Tech Systems. In addition to that, one of the exciting things is that we're going to have a custom test at the end of our bootcamp that you'll be able to test out on, that's approved by Tech Systems and us in a partnership. And so like we're excited about that little quiz. It's not really a quiz, it's more like a proficiency exam.
Yeah, and if you've ever worked with Tech Systems, they do this anyway. Yeah. They do this when you're coming in there. They basically test you. You say, "Oh, I'm a Java developer," and they're like, "Oh, okay, prove it." And here you gotta kind of prove that they can represent you.
Right.
So yeah, it's a big deal. We'll have our own version of that's tailored towards our program that they'll certify people on, and then they will work with those people to get them awesome jobs, which is amazing.
And so like our goal here at Coda Foundry is really just to be more like, how do I get a job type thing. And so we've always said this from day one, is that you should be working with recruiters. And now we're just going to solidify that relationship so that we can actually pass your portfolio, everything about you, to the recruiting firm. And they also will rep you maybe more stringently coming out of the bootcamp than they were before, because now they're going to be very familiar with the students, what we do, what our philosophy here is at Coda Foundry. So we're super excited about that.
Yeah. So
hopefully if you're coming to the bootcamp July 5th, which, by the way, Kevin, if you want to apply, you need to do it like
technically today. The close off was yesterday, but all
right. Well, maybe like that's if you wanted to get in, we might.
I mean, yeah, that's why we close it off like early, so that because there's always somebody that's like, "Hey, can I like?" I'm like, okay, hold on.
Yeah, exactly. Can I start tomorrow? So like, it takes a minute to get in, but like, we've pretty much. I guess we did close it, but like, we could open it one more day if someone called in today. There's a lot to do, so and you have to get approved. We don't let everyone in, so.
So there is a so also when there's a dedicated recruiter that you basically will kind of like start with too, which is kind of cool.
Yep.
So we'll have a single like point of contact, a single funnel with Tech Systems, which is great. And then that person will like, if you're in California, they'll then hook you up with somebody in California or a different place in the country. Right. So they'll basically give you a warm connection with another recruiter, and then obviously they'll do whatever they need to do. It's very, very cool. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And then it also opens you up to all the remote opportunities that you may not find about. So like when you work with a national firm like Tech Systems, they have their hands in most of the companies in the U.S. probably. Now that company may use multiple recruiting agencies, but like Tech Systems probably knows about every opportunity that there is, and so like, and then us being .NET is just further, they know that there's a need for .NET developers, so that's a further part of it.
Exactly. Look, Ben's already got familiarity with Tech Systems. I think
Yep.
anybody in this kind of industry that has a job, when you're looking, you're going to come across Tech Systems. It's just they're so big, that's just going to happen.
Yeah.
So somebody's asking, a couple of people have asked questions about, actually Sean has asked a question.
Yeah.
Is Tech System partnership
Hey,
only
Sean.
for full cohorts opposed to self-paced?
So Sean, currently yes. Okay.
Yeah,
The reason is because we're working on it, but let me tell you our reason behind that. Number one, if you come to the full cohort, it's only people that graduate. In other words, we have to certify the students. So there's some onus on us to be able to say, this person's an actual graduate. They didn't just attend. They actually completed the code work and they met some proficiency level. In addition to that, they've passed this proficiency exam that that we'll have with this new July 5th cohort. Having said that, we are going to look into, but I don't know when we're going to do this. Just like we got to get the self-paced course out there and put it in your hands first. But eventually down the road, there may be some kind of certification that we can do as well for the self-paced course people to see if we can certify you just like we would in the boot camp, then we would pass you on to the recruiter. So, however, having said that, you don't necessarily need us to work with Tech Systems anyway. You can call the recruiter in your local, show them your portfolio, talk to them, and build a relationship. So, like, it's just because if we don't certify you from the self-paced bootcamp, it doesn't mean you can't work with Tech Systems. But with our relationship, we want to make sure that we send quality candidates to them. And definitely, if we're going to be looking into the self-paced course to see what we can do there as it rolls out further and further into the future.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, if you go through the self-paced course, the way we look at it, if you go through the self-paced course and you complete everything, you build awesome projects, you can talk about your code, you can interview, then yeah, we definitely want to give you the opportunity to talk to Tech Systems. We just have to figure out a way for us to figure out who those people are versus people who we know are going to be there, who we're just going to maybe take it for fun or not complete the course, just maybe mark it all as finished when they haven't really done anything, haven't really built anything, because you technically could, with any course you can do that.
Exactly.
So we need a way to kind of certify you. So we're thinking about ways to do that too. So we can push you across to like Tech Systems official. So yeah, we're definitely looking at it. We're excited about that aspect of it, definitely. Yeah. Very so cool. I mean, the way that we talk, don't forget, like this is solidifying something we've talked about a lot, right? We've definitely. I mean, it is literally step 5 of our 5-step process. That's been that way for the past since we sort of formalized that sort of 3 years ago, or whenever it was, maybe even longer, longer than that, right? It's been around. Our 5 steps been around for a long time. Probably 4 or 5 years now at this point. And step 5 has always been working with a recruiter. And it's literally step 5. It's chapter 7 in the book. It has its own chapter in the book. It's working with a recruiter. So now we've literally just solidified that and have an actual, recruiter external to us, who's going to directly work with graduates of the bootcamp. It's awesome.
Yeah, and then we'll just further refine our bootcamp to make sure that we align our goals with what Tech Systems is looking for, those kind of things. That doesn't mean we're not going to teach .NET. We're going to teach .NET forever, but there could be some minor changes that we may maybe accentuate certain parts of the course, or maybe teach a different thing, maybe do something more. But like as we get better results from Tech Systems in our partnership, I think that'll also help us with the curriculum. It's going to help students. It's going to help you break into jobs faster, and that's all we want. We want people to get jobs. So, definitely. All right, cool.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, that's our big announcement for the day. Tech Systems, Kevin. Like I can't tell you how long I've worked on this, so like I'm excited about it.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
It's definitely been a minute.
Thanks for all the people at Tech. If you're watching, the guys out in Greensboro, North Carolina, helped us put this together. So it's really cool.
Yep. We'll put out an official press release here at some point too over the next few days.
Shortly, we should be putting it together. So it's pretty cool.
Okay. Tim has a question. That's interesting, or a question/point. Technically claims he got fired from Facebook for having a YouTube channel. Does having a YouTube channel affect one's programming or programmer career. And then, hold on,
So,
next comment.
yeah.
Tech Rally, I passed 4,000 watch hours. Tech Rally, by the way, working
Go
at
Tech
Amazon,
Rally.
also with a YouTube channel. I would say hasn't hurt him.
Here, back to here. Here's what I think about YouTube. So, like, if you want to be on YouTube, like me and Kevin are doing, that's fine. Is someone going to fire you for having a YouTube channel? I don't think so, unless you're running down the company all the time or bringing negative attention to the company.
Yeah, that's bad.
That could impact your career. But talking about coding on YouTube I think it can improve your career. It's just that if you're into it to get 1 million subs, as we know, that's harder to do. Easy to say, hard to do. So like depends on why you're doing it. But I would say this. Here's my thing about YouTube. And I think you should focus on the positive aspects of whatever you're doing and not the negative aspects. So that's my tip for the day, is focus in on the positive things and the positive things that you can push into this space versus the negative. I think what can hurt you is tech lead could be seen as negative sometimes, and I think that could hurt him. Did he actually get fired from Facebook for his YouTube channel? I have no idea. Is tech lead?
And I'm sure that's not his official. I mean, I guarantee that's not his official reason. They didn't say like, you have a YouTube channel, you're fired.
Something else. I mean,
it's gonna be something.
Yeah,
else.
I really don't know. But like,
he just sees it that way.
So, I would say that there's some coding tech people in our space that have bigger channels than ours that focus on the negative, and I think that negative focus can impact your career. I definitely do know that. So if you're going to be out there just like talking down and making fun of people, then it could impact your career, definitely. Just like Twitter can, just like Facebook can, just like anything else can. So I would just say, talk about tech if you want it to impact your career, but in a positive light, just show the positive things you can do. So that's what I would do.
This is funny too, related to this. Both coding after 30, so Paul and Alex both hit 4,000 hours. So it's like, is it the race to monetization? Is that what you guys are in? Like
that's what it is. I think they can monetize now. So.
There's true beef with quick growth. Yeah.
True. Our beef led to that
fun.
Quick growth.
I like it. I think that's funny.
So give them a follow, give them a watch, and so that's good. Tech Rally and Coda After 30. So there's two friends of the channel here. So that's good. Congrats, guys. That's awesome. I mean,
it is awesome.
I can remember when we got 4,000 hours, Kevin. I remember it was a big deal. It was,
Yeah, it was. We're like, yay, that's cool. It's like you hit a target and then you just got to set yourself the next target. That's all. There's always a target with YouTube stuff. Always.
There's always a target.
Always a target. So like my latest target.
Our goal now is 100,000 subs. So we've got a ways to go still. So.
It is. It's 100,000 subs. I would love to get that. But I was also, I put on LinkedIn this morning, I want our one coding project video to hit 1 million views. That's another target I have as well. I want a million view video and 100,000 subs. Like that's my goal for this at the minute. That's our next goal. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how many views it has right now, but it's
827,000 like that.
Okay,
so,
we're closing in.
We're getting there. Yeah. Louis wants to know, what are your thoughts about visa sponsorship jobs?
So, full disclaimer, I am not as educated on this as I should be. I've had people come into us from overseas trying to come on a work visa, or H-1B as it's called. There's some things you have to do at the company side that's kind of cost prohibitive and expensive to do to set it all up. And I don't really know the ins and outs of that. So I personally have never done it. So it's not that I'm against it. I just know that here on the company side, it's like anything else you do with the government. It's always complicated. It's like way more complicated and expensive than you think.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a lot of companies that do it. So like H-1B visa is a right to work here. I think those work, but I think there's some more problems being a sponsor when you do it. Like, I don't know what all the rules are and what you're responsible for and that kind of stuff. So
yeah, there are a bunch of responsibilities on companies for that, right?
Yep. Yeah. So we've never personally done it, but I mean, it's definitely a lot of people are working in the US with that kind of visa.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I don't know if there's I don't know if those went, I don't know how they're trending. I don't know if they trended up or down. I don't know. My guess is they trended down, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I don't know. You just have to look and see currently how many are allowed in the U.S. I don't really know
Yeah,
how
because there is,
totally
because that's
works.
the
I
other
know
thing too.
there's
There
a
is a
scale.
cap on it. Yeah, there is a cap on
Yeah,
it. Just like
yeah,
any immigration visa here, there is a cap on it, regardless of whether you technically qualify or not. They're like, no, we've given out the 50,000 or whatever it is. We're not giving out anymore, and that's it. They just cut it off.
right.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to another question you had too, just to follow up the way, because I like this question too. Is it easier to get jobs at startups for junior devs, or is it better to apply for bigger companies? I love this question.
I think it's both. Here's the thing about startups for junior dev: you want to make less money, so like there's an advantage there. Startups sometimes don't have as much money to pay people, so they're willing to take more chances on other bigger companies. Also, are hiring junior devs too as well. So I think it's both. Apply to all of them, and demo as best you can, and then don't target just one or the other. So I would just try to break in, get that first job, however you can get it, and get 1 year experience on it, and then just demo during those interview processes at both of them. I think you'll be fine. So some startups are well organized, some are not. So they can be kind of crazy in the startup land. But the same holds true for big companies. They can be very big and monolith, and all you do is sit in meetings. You don't really code a lot. So there's give and take on both sides. So I would think either one will work, and I think both are happening at both. I think you can get jobs at both of them. So it's kind of cool. Thanks.
Okay. YouTube's asking us a question.
YouTube, man, we're
you
big
space
time.
tube.
Yeah.
Can I apply for jobs in the UK as a front-end developer or back-end developer with only a high school diploma? Or do I need some university degree, non-CS related field, along with a portfolio project? Same things apply there as they do here, right? I mean, when we talk about recruiting, it's pretty much the same.
I don't think there are some places in the country or the world that put more certifications around this kind of stuff. And so in order to be like a software engineer, you have to hold a degree or things like that. I'm not sure about that in the UK. I would look to see if there's any. I don't think so. I think for the most part, you got to have a really kick butt portfolio coming straight out of high school. And you can definitely be self-taught. I definitely think that you can do that and win. You've got to show passion, commitment, and you've got to show capability. And so like you are definitely have to overcome certain things if you haven't done anything but the portfolio project, but you definitely can do it. So my advice is build a portfolio full of business-based projects, full stack. Build one of those should be a blog, and blog about technology to raise awareness. Build out that LinkedIn profile as much as you can and raise awareness about you as a coder in this industry, and then have a really kick butt project that you can demo during the interview, like what we say in the One Coding Project, a bug track or something that you can really show that you know how to do a lot of the things that they're looking for. And then whatever stack you build it in is interview for that stack. So let's say that you go .NET C#, then interview for .NET C# roles. If you go React, interview for React roles. Align your stack with your portfolio, especially just trying to break in, So a lot of times people will tell you, hey, it doesn't matter what you build or it doesn't matter what you learn, just learn that and then show that. But like as a front end or back end developer, or full stack developer in your first job, their primary question is, can you do this? Can you really do this? And so if you're trying to like make the leap from like the Django to .NET, and then they've got someone that's got 2 years of experience and they've already done some .NET project, they're probably going to pick the .NET person, So like make sure that you align your portfolio with it. Now, as you get 5 years, 6 years into this, it may not matter as much. You can say, yeah, for fun, I dabble in Rust, so like you can do that kind of stuff, or I'm like into Flutter right now, and you can talk about those things, and they'll give you more of the benefit of the doubt because you have experience. But that 1 year developer, the first developer in the first year, laser focus on that stack, apply that stack to specific jobs and specific companies, and I think you have a better chance of breaking in. Anyway, that's for everyone on YouTube, man. So I hope that helped YouTube.
Also, just for clarification, N17 Hero, who is resident in the UK, says no CS degree required.
Yeah, and it's the same
And we
way here
work
in
with
the
loads of
U.S.
devs that haven't been to uni, and it's the same. It's
Yeah,
exactly the same way here.
yeah,
We know
exactly.
we know lots of people who don't have degrees who are,
Yeah.
you know, working devs with six-figure salaries. Lots.
And personally, I don't want certifications like that. I don't like that. I think that's just a gatekeeping mentality to keep people out. I think it would actually hurt the industry to not allow people who are self-taught into the industry. It's just it's kind of silly. You know what I mean? In other words, like coding is a skill that you can learn how to do. It doesn't matter how you learn it, you know. So I
Right.
think that's great.
Right. Okay. Oh, just this real quick. Not a question, but look, Sean has a technical interview for .NET tomorrow. Game World Technologies. They're just trying to evaluate where my level is. My early career with 0 or more years experience. Awesome.
That's awesome, Sean. Hopefully you can show them something, you know, try to demo something if you got it. You know, you still have a whole day to build it if you haven't built anything yet. So, you
Right.
know, that,
Right. I like it.
definitely demo. Demo does a couple of things. Number one, the demo allows you to recall things better. If you demo something, you can remember what you did when you built it. And then the demo also doesn't rely solely on short-term memory. So what they're going to do to evaluate your level is they're probably going to ask you what we call code trivia questions and say, hey, so do you know what MVC is? Or tell us what you know, class modifiers are. Do you know what public and private variables are? Or, you know, how do those work? And so like where you could talk about them from an academic level, but it'd be awesome if you had a project that you say, well, let me show you where I built out some classes and where I made some public and private, and let me talk to you about like why I made that decision here. I think that's the best way to interview, and you can definitely break in doing that. Good luck, Sean. I hope it helps.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. Bubblegum Shrimp says, finally stopped watching tutorials and started working on my own personal web app. Awesome. What database do you think is best to start with for something small? Seems like SQL is heavy in enterprise.
So you can build SQL. Obviously, if you want to host it, Postgres is another option to where with hosts that we do here in the bootcamp, we use Heroku and Postgres, just because there's some free options that we can show people our personal web app and use Postgres, and then moving over from Postgres to SQL Enterprise Manager. The tooling's different. The concepts are the same. The app you do, I mean, obviously Enterprise Manager is way better than Postgres Admin, but you know, they both do the same kind of thing, but SQL is heavy in the enterprise for sure, still to this day. So, but I definitely think Postgres will be fine. And then what you do is you just tell people, hey, you know what, I'm trying to host this for free while I'm trying to break in. So this was based solely on price if they ask about your DBMS selection process, you know, and then you can port a Postgres database to SQL if you had to. It's just SQL. Cool. Hope that helps. Bubba Gump Shrimp.
Bubblegum Shrimp. TiVo. In 2 weeks, I will start a 2-month bootcamp focusing in the MERN stack.
Okay.
Only 2 months for an absolute beginner. Any tips? God help.
God help me. So, hey,
It
good
seems
luck
like
in
you
that.
know
We
you're
want
getting
you
into
to,
something here. Like,
yeah. So good luck in that. Hopefully it works out for you really well. What I would say is, what we tell every student here in our boot camp is the two things that we ask. Number one is, why are you doing this? And so like when you have a very strong internalized why, then we get them to write that why on a post-it note and stick it on their monitor so that when they want to quit when it gets hard, they know why they're doing this. And so like if you can figure out what that really is, what that internal motivation is, and that'll keep you motivated. The second thing is make sure that you're building projects out of this that you can show someone, whether that's in MERN or .NET or whatever it is. For your case, that's going to be MERN, and make sure that you have a pretty strong project in the MERN stack that you can build out. Now, if your bootcamp doesn't lead you to a project, then after that 2 months, that 2-month first day, you need to be building a project using the MERN stack at that point, and then interview for MERN jobs after that. So I hope that helps.
Okay, I don't know how to say this. Ben wants to know your work with, I don't know how you say it, Aspazay?
Is that a PDF library?
No, I just looked it up.
suppose.
It's a .NET Java Cloud SharePoint. I don't know what it is. Like the
Okay.
keyword stuffing in Google is disgusting. Like,
Okay.
they I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. Looks like they have a whole
Googling
bunch
it
of
right
things.
now.
It might be they might have a PDF. Actually, it looks like they probably do have a PDF thing. Yes, they do. So they do have a PDF version, a PDF file processing solution. So the fact that you
Then I've
know
done
that
it,
tells me
yes.
that you've done it.
Yes, I've done it. Yeah.
You've at least used that part of it. Looks like they have a whole
Yeah.
bunch of different products, but that's one of them. They look like plugins then, basically.
I've used expose.pdf for .NET. Yes. Anyway,
Okay.
so answer, Ben. Yes, I've done it. So
Anything
I guess you're
interesting?
running into a problem. It's like,
Was there anything interesting? What did you do with it? Something you can talk about or not? Do you remember?
not really remember. It
Okay.
was for a
Okay.
financial
Doesn't matter,
system
just
that we
wondering.
talked about,
Okay.
like we built out. So like we were building out reports for a financial reporting system.
Okay.
And we
so
had to
it produced a
convert them
report
into-
that puts it into PDF.
Yeah. But we had to like construct them from data. So that's why we're using Expose.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
it wasn't as simple as just putting a template together.
Right.
So.
Right. So next question. Zach in chat's already answered this one. And Zach, just to tell you, did you see this? Oh, you did see this because I think I told you about this. But Zach, who is a graduate Coda Foundry, got a job at Dell. I don't know if I think I told you this already.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
A 2-year contract at Dell. It's like, that's awesome. So congratulations, Jack. I think I've told you officially. Zach, congratulations.
Yeah.
Very, very
Thanks,
cool.
Zach.
So Zach's opinion on
Zach,
this is that, I mean, going through the thing is that certificates basically date themselves really quickly and they don't have a lot of value.
Really quick.
And I think that is the problem with anything like this. It's true. It's like, so if you get, from my perspective, right, when you're talking about like in a marketing side of things, like Google has a certification, right, for like AdWords, let's say, but they actually date it for a year. If you take it, you have to take it within the next 12 months again to like re-up yourself with a certificate.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with certificates. It's like it's a never-ending loop of like taking these things, especially in tech, because it's literally a new version of everything every year.
I mean, if you learned a lot about the networking side of things, that is good. That means that you've learned some things. But practical experience is better than certificate stuff. So I wouldn't spend a whole lot of my time doing that. I would rather spend time building something that I know how to, so I can show that I know how to code. Not that you know how, a basic switch works. So something like that. All right, cool. Hope that helps.
I used to have, talking about certificates, I used to have a different take on certificates. Like, I liked certificates until I started working at Coda Foundry, and you changed my mind on certificates. You told me, because you were basically like, I don't care. Like, because we were talking about, I think early on when I joined, I was like, we didn't have a certificate when you completed the program. And I was like, wow, we don't have a certificate. That's nuts. How do we not have a certificate? And you're like, doesn't matter. The certificate doesn't mean anything. It is literally a piece of paper.
That we got from Office Depot.
Exactly. The actual certificate is the getting the job. It's the knowledge that you gained from something. That's the certificate. And I was like, that totally changed my mind on the way I thought about certification.
Yeah. I always thought the certificate was that first paycheck. Yeah, when you get that first paycheck, there's your certificate right there, man. You're looking at it, you're holding your hand, say, "Yep, I did it."
Yep,
that's what I want for people.
Yeah, you totally changed my mind on that, 100%.
Yep.
Okay, let's do another question here. Let's see. Eric says, "I'm still learning ASP MVC, but decided to check out Blazor. I decided I may like that better. If I decide to focus more on Blazor for my portfolio, will this hurt me getting a job currently?" Question.
I think you could apply for Blazor roles, and I would put Blazor. I would definitely make sure you focus your experiences with building Blazor and learn live. And I would put that on YouTube. I'd put it on LinkedIn. I would put it on Twitter. People are looking for Blazor people now. Now, there's not as many jobs as, say, like a traditional full stack web job. But just knowing it, it's only been out a year and a half, could get you a role. So I just found a guy. Hopefully he's going to accept his offer yesterday for a Blazor role. So like, I definitely think that Yeah. So we talked about this morning, but like,
Oh yeah, you did say that. Okay, yeah.
yeah. So like, hopefully that will, he'll accept an offer. So that'd be good. That'd be good.
Very cool.
But I definitely think it's definitely something you should show off if you've got it.
It's a point now where it is starting to kind of tip that way, isn't it? It's like it is becoming a thing where it's not a proof of concept project anymore. You can actually get a job with it.
Yep.
It's not.
But if you can do
totally
both
cutting edge
NBC
anymore.
and Blazor, that's good.
Yeah. Okay. Our next question. Getting a lot queued up. There's a good one. So Walker wants to know, as you get further into your career, you still work on side projects. What is one of your favorite personal projects?
So right now, Walker, what I'm working on is the self-paced course. So that's what I'm doing right now. But like I've worked on tons of side projects. I can't say I finish every one. One of the things that I do personally all the time is I like investigating how something could work. So that's definitely work on those kind of things. So like I've done things around credit card fraud, things on the side, stuff like that, like how I would solve something like that. So definitely I've been on stuff like that I thought was really cool. So, but I've worked on it quite a bit. So like right now, currently I'm working on projects that I'm building for curriculum and things like that. So a lot of times those personal projects I want to work on end up being in our curriculum. So
it's kind of weird because like your personal projects are also work, because it's like
they're work. Yeah, but like you just like, so like I'll invent a project and say, hey, I think we should stick this in the curriculum. Teacher staff, go build it. Like,
now go teach it.
Yeah, go teach it. Or it's like, I've got it 80% there. Can y'all get it the rest of the way? Stuff like that. So I think that definitely do that. But I still have lots of ideas that I whiteboard out, and eventually I may get around to building them. So I think so.
There you go.
Without going into detail what I'm working on. So that's some of the stuff I don't want to talk about.
Okay, N17 Hero says, do you know if VS 2022 for Mac is going to be complete rewrite or just more of the same but with .NET 6? Antonio rewrote a ton of the bug tracker with Visual Studio 22. I do know that.
For Windows.
But I was going to ask, was his Windows though? Yeah, he has a Mac, but he did it on Windows? Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know about the VS 2022 Mac. I think it's Windows only right now. So but it's just a preview. So we'll see. I'm not sure. I have to go Google that and see. I don't even know if they've talked about it, but
yeah, I don't know. But the pre-release of the one for Windows did come out, right? And
yep.
we have started looking at that. So we've started looking at that. We started looking at .NET 6. So
yeah. So it's got so it's kind of cool, Kevin. So it's got AI empowered coding, and so let's say you're making a class. And you just type in public first name, and then it'll create the class called last name, assuming that's the next one you want. it'll just make it for you. Now, what I want to know is, like, you look at those things and you're like, wow, that's cool, until it's not. Like
yeah, just until you didn't want
to turn that AI nonsense off, man. Only one first name.
That's kind of crazy.
But so like they're trying to anticipate what you're doing, and I'm assuming that it learns based as you go, and then also there's probably an AI component up in the cloud, up in Azure, that's like feeding Visual Studio information. So we'll see if that's kind of whiz bangy cool, and then it's not after you use it for more than 3 or 4 days. You're like, yeah, just turn that off, man. Quit doing it. Just quit typing for me. So
I wonder if it's a similar technology to what they have in Outlook these days. I don't know if you've noticed in Outlook these days, I use the web version of Outlook, and when I'm on there, I'm writing an email, I'll start writing something, and it'll try and like complete the whole sentence for me. Like it'll complete the greeting and everything. I'll just start with the word like hey, and it'll put the person's name in. Like, and then I'll start writing the sentence out, and it'll like complete the question for me, and I'm like, wow. Yeah. And it's actually legit. It gets it right most of the time.
Yeah, I just hate autocomplete on Twitter on phones. It's just the reason I misspell so many things. It's like, quit doing it, and you don't notice until you've tweeted it, and you're like, have to delete it.
Yeah, you notice about 2 minutes after you've tweeted it, you're already 10 people who liked it 10 times.
It's like, so anyway, so like, So it's all good though. But I'm excited about Visual Studio 2022. That is going to be the new hotness for sure. I think you're going to see this one specifically. People will convert over to because it's 64-bit, and that is such a performance improvement over the current version that many companies will just really adopt Visual 2022 probably the day it comes out. The second thing is I really think this because of that adoption to the new tool, which means it's also going to drive stuff for .NET 6. Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Heading to the moon. So,
we're just following you, I think.
Just following you, man. You're like that man. Like it's amazing what he did in our boot camp. It's just flat out amazing. It's kind of cool.
That's why he's now working at Dell. I mean, on a dream job. It's awesome.
So it is amazing though when you take someone like Zach who has like this, like never say no attitude. He has this very positive outlook in general, and how that just overall positive attitude feeds into what he's doing, and that when that feeds into other people catch it, and like he just creates opportunities. Some people call it luck. I think it's more of the way you behave and the way you communicate, and attitude is really what it is. So I think he's an exceptional young guy. So it's pretty good.
Definitely. And thank you for the super chat, Zach. Okay, what's our next question? Patricia wants to know, how much do JavaScript programming concepts transfer over to C# programming concepts?
So in our course, Patricia, like one of the things that we do is we're going to, in the course, we will build, we'll start out with JavaScript. And one of the first things we do in JavaScript is we'll print out numbers from 0 to 100 on the screen. And we don't do it in the console. That's one thing that we don't do. We're not console programmers. And so like everything that you do would be built into building it as an aspect of a web page. That concept is then we turn around and intro to C#. We do the exact same projects inside of C#. And a lot of times we'll take the JavaScript things that you built out and then start converting those over into MVC and figuring out how to do it. So the concepts of a for loop, conditionals like if then else, operators like equal, less than, and all those kind of things very well carry over to C#. And then in C# there are some enhancements that happen that aren't included in JavaScript, like type and those kind of things. But a lot of the core kind of syntactical things are almost identical. Like a for loop looks identical in JavaScript to C# in most cases. And so like I think it definitely very well carries over into C#. It's just learning what types are. And JavaScript not being type safe is the other one of the bigger programming differences, and obviously object-oriented programming. So like there's another kind of extra layer that you have to learn kind of what's going on there. So, and then a lot of it also too is the .NET framework, which is another layer on top of C# that you just learn what's available to you in the .NET framework that's not available to you in JavaScript. So, but yeah, I think it definitely learn JavaScript first, then learn C# for sure.
There you go. Kevin wants to know, he's new to this stuff, having trouble to decide to learn ASP or PHP. I would try them both, and I like them both. Can you help me decide?
So Kevin, look and see how many jobs are out there for full stack web development for ASP and full stack for PHP, and make your decision that way. So it's not that PHP jobs don't exist. A lot of it is really towards plugins and WordPress development, even more so nowadays. And so like look at the frameworks that are being used and where those jobs are located, what they pay. I would learn ASP. That's what you're asking a guy that has a boot camp dedicated to teaching people ASP. So I'm opinionated and biased. So I understand my bias. So I think you can get a job with either or. I would focus on one or the other. And if you ask me, I would pick ASP because I think the job market is just bigger for that. But if you want to get into WordPress development, then there's only one choice. I mean, this PHP is the only choice that you can make. And that's the one you need to pick into. So it depends on what you're trying to build. And so once you do that, I think ASP is definitely the way to go. So that's just my opinion. But good luck. Hope I help you decide, or may have confused you more. I'm not sure. So.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah. You gave your opinion on it. So Walter wants to know, does Entity Framework work with other DBMs like MySQL or Postgres?
Oh yeah.
It
So
does, right?
Entity
We use
Framework is
Postgres
just
with Entity Framework.
yeah,
Right?
it's just an ORM. We use Postgres in the class, Walter. So it doesn't matter which one you're using. Now inside of .NET, you do have to download different libraries to get Entity Framework to talk to Postgres. You need a Postgres driver or a SQL driver. When you run when you start up a project and you're just building it from scratch inside MVC and you run the scaffolding, it by default will hit SQL. And you have to change that to make it hit Postgres. But there's a driver for everything. So out there under the sun. So definitely MySQL, definitely Postgres. We use it in the classroom with great success. And also SQL obviously is out of the box. Anything that you can imagine, Entity Framework can probably hit. Someone's written a library for it, for sure.
There you go. Quick answer to this one. Rithim wants to know why I'm never giving any love on the video thumbnails. Because I make them, and I don't want to slap my face on them. That's why. Easy answer for that one.
Okay. Well, you make some fantastic thumbnails, so like, that's kind of cool, right?
And they're staying with your face on them. That's
Okay.
how we roll. That's Bobby is the Coda Foundry brand, and we're sticking with it. KitKat, I really want to do your bootcamp. Awesome. But I've been building projects with React the last couple of months. That's awesome too. Should I continue building React until I get a job, or do your bootcamp and learn C#.net?
Can you build a project in React? If you can, I'd go get a job. Yeah. If you can't, then come to the bootcamp and we'll build projects with .NET and get a job with C# and .NET. I think React is something that you need to know how to do. I think it's very important. It's just in 12 weeks, we got to pick something to learn. So if you've got a lot of time invested in React and you can build a full-blown project with it, then get a job. The reason you come to our bootcamp is to learn from our instructors, to get motivated, to build definitive projects, to put you on a schedule, to keep you in tune, and then help you get a job. That's why you learn from us. So I think that's different. It's just we're not going to teach you to React in our current bootcamp model. React will probably show up in the self-paced course, though. I do think that we are going to address it there, so that if you're graduating from the bootcamp and you've done ASP.NET MVC, you can go learn React from us. I think the perfect combo is React plus Web API, which is C# on the back end. I think that's the combo that's probably mostly in demand in the industry. And so like learning C# will definitely help your career out for sure. But here's what I tell you. I mean, just like what I told a kid the other day. A kid the other day called in, he wanted to come to the bootcamp. And he had an offer for a QA role for $57,000 leaving a computer science degree. And he called me on the phone. He said, "Hey, what should I do? Should I take the offer or come to your boot camp?" And when I told him my answer, he was absolutely shocked. And I told him, take the money.
Take the job. Exactly.
It's like, take the money. I feel like, it's like the Vin Diesel movie, take the money, Toombs. You should have took the money.
It's funny because we were talking about this right after too. And I was like, you did tell him to take the job, right? Like, it's like, of course I did.
Yeah. So like what I would do is if you've got a lot of time invested in React and you can build projects with it, hey, build some projects out, start interviewing. And if you feel like you can't quite get there, then maybe consider a bootcamp like Coda Foundry and learn C#, add that to your tool belt and go back out in the market later. So I hope that helps.
There you go. MS, just a quick one. MSV wants to know best headset over the ear. What's your personal pick here? You have one?
So do you want like noise canceling or do you want like,
I was going to say there's
noise canceling.
Two sets here, right? There's a wireless noise canceling set and then there's a wired set. And then there's the set for listening to like editing, which you want a very kind of neutral sound. Yes, exactly. So I like,
and then there's music.
I have these. I like these. These are amazing. They're not super expensive. The Audio Technica MX50s. They have a Bluetooth version of these too. But if I was buying a set today and I wanted wireless Bluetooth ones, I would go for the Sony like 1000 WH1000 or whatever it is. Those are amazing. You like Bose though, don't you?
Bose, Sony's are good. There's like 3 of them out there that are pretty good. I wouldn't get the Apple ones; they're too expensive.
I wouldn't either. I'm an Apple guy, and I wouldn't buy the Apple ones.
Yeah. So I think
Yeah.
Sony, I think you can, if you're looking for noise cancellation over the ear headphones, it's clearly every review person looks at that. So, and I would say for us, man, MK, go check his reviews out. I'm sure he's
Oh yeah,
all
yeah.
over
He
it.
has a pick. I think he actually uses the Sonys too. So
Yeah.
I would buy the Sony. And actually, they're on sale if you're in the
Yep.
US, which I don't think you are, MSV, but in the US they're on sale on Prime, like 189, I want to say, something like that. Today.
Yeah.
I did see them. I almost got some. I was like,
Okay.
do I need another headset? I'm like, I don't need another headset. I had to stop myself buying them.
Right.
I was like, I don't need another headset. I have
Right.
enough. But yeah. Oh yeah, there you go. Zach says Quiet Comfort 35.
Those are
I
good
think
too. I mean, I've got a
you
pair
have
of
those,
those,
right?
and I like
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So I like them.
Okay.
They're on the cheaper end. They're not even the most high end, and they're really good.
Yep.
So a lot of times we feel like we have to have the top end when you realize that there's the different price points under these things are like exceptional. Like in other words, they're still exceptional. Yeah.
Exactly. So those Audio Technica headset, I had the MX40s before, and that's a $99 headset. I think it was great, and I just upgraded to the 50s, and they were 140, I think, something like that. It's not a massive amount. They're not, they're not $1,000 headsets, which you can get.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Simplicity and Geek, PHP on Node.js.
You have to pick between those two.
I don't know. I guess so. But if you had to
That's
pick,
the only thing I can pick,
if you had a gun pointed at you and you had to pick one, which one would you choose?
I feel like the scene in Moneyball. Would you rather take one in the head or two in the chest? And the guy's like, "Is there any chance where I don't get shot in this scenario?"
No, you're definitely getting shot in this one. PHP or Node.js.
So if I had to pick one right now between these two, right now I'd pick Node for sure. That's what I would do because I can. That's just.
I think you can build a lot more stuff with the Node. Right.
I would have the React front end, Node.js back end if that's what I had to do. Like if you put my arms behind my back and said you can't use C# in any scenario, then I'm probably picking a React Node combo. That'd be my next go-to. And PHP would be way down the line for me. So that's just what I would pick. But I'd pick Blazor in 2021.
There you go. You can go with either one. So the answer is neither. But there you go.
Exactly.
AV wants to know, I'm studying software engineering next semester. Get a class in web development. Awesome. Is it creative, and how could I best prepare for it?
I don't know. You're taking a class. I don't know if you can prep for it, but I don't know what the focus of your class is. So
if you have a single class though over one semester for web development, you know what it's going to be, don't you?
Yeah, I mean it's an intro,
it's HTML, CSS, and maybe JavaScript.
Could be ASP because you've done some other classes. If you're in
I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be very front end focused. Because think about it, if you're software engineering, you're probably only, and you're doing a web development class, the only part that's different from other development is going to be the front end stuff, right? HTML, CSS.
Yeah, send us the syllabus for said class, and maybe we can give you some better advice. What you got? What are you learning? What's the goal? But I would say you don't need to prep for the next class. Make sure your current classes are going well.
Well, that's
and then next semester, get in there and just knock it out when you get there.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too difficult, is my guess. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. Stefan wants to know what kind of projects we recommend for a self-taught developer to make them hireable.
So watch our video on the One Coding Project, just not to rep our own videos, okay?
Watch it 10 times because I need to get to 1 million views.
Yeah, get us to that 1 million views. You only have to watch 150,000 times to get there. But what we're saying is, and some of the feedback from that, people have missed the point about why we made that video. It's not so much about building a bug tracker. It's building a project that does certain things. And so the first thing it needs to do is enforce security. So auth and authorization and authentication, which is the act of logging in. And once you log in, you have a roles and permissions and allows you to do certain functions inside your app. The second thing is building admin pages like CRUD, which is your general operations of I need to add, I need to edit things, I need to delete things. That needs to be there. And so it needs to connect to a database, 3, and then then on top of all of that, it needs to solve a business problem. Hence the reason when you start going down that list of all the things that we think that the best project needs to have, a bug tracker fits that role perfectly. And it has a added bonus is when you show it to someone, they know what it's supposed to do. It's very difficult for someone to look at your super special project that has a super secret workflow in a thing that they don't understand, and then they think it's a dumb idea, then they'll think the code behind it's dumb. I heard a guy in an interview say this exact word, Kevin, last week. The guy took a coding test, and then he didn't finish it. I think the coding test was way hard for 40 minutes, personally, to be fair. But he didn't finish it, but instantly he said, you want to look at my stuff. And so he shows his project. And this is what this hiring manager said verbatim. I'm not making this up, Kevin. So listen to me, people, when I say this. He said, wow, that looks really cool. So I must assume that the underpinnings of that is cool as well. And I'm like, I don't know how many times I've said that on this channel. And I don't think he watches our channel, the hiring manager, but like maybe he does. And maybe I'm finally, but that part of it has to look good and behave good, but they have to understand what it's supposed to do. So anyway, I think it was amazing, amazing interview. Even when the coding challenge didn't go exactly like the programmer thought, his demo was like amazingly good, and he really kind of like turned it around. And that's what I keep telling people about demos. Demos can like get you hired, even if you fail all the questions and all the other stuff.
This is the same person who's looking at getting the offer that you mentioned. There's the same thing. Was that the same one?
Well, there's two people interviewed, and one of them's going to get an offer.
Oh, okay.
So
okay, I see. Okay.
I don't want to go into it until like it actually real happens.
Okay.
So, but what I'm point is the demo was amazing, and it was just so good. I mean, like and then you realize that you flip the script with the hiring manager when you do that stuff. That's why we picked the bug tracker. Just watch the video. It goes into great detail about it. I think it's like 17 minutes or something.
Watch it all twice. Kevin? You'll do me a favor.
What's that?
I said, watch it all twice. You'll do me a favor.
Yeah, watch it twice. Like it from different accounts.
Watch it on slow-mo, actually. That'll help me. Actually, watch it on 0.25. Because that'll help me too.
The watch hours.
The watch hours.
Anyway, Stephen, I hope that helps. I get passionate about that because I really think it works. And there are some negative comments in there. Just forget about those people. They're wrong. Trust me when I say this absolutely works when you show it to somebody every time.
It's something kind of related and that you're also passionate about, and it's just we can just this a jumping off point. But Sean says he loves that we skip console programming in JS. He needs to learn JS. We can't wait for the course. So you're super like opinionated about this too, and this is something that I noticed very early on with you when I joined Coda Foundry. Was like, everywhere else that teaches programming, the first place you start is a console app, and it's just like because they don't really care about the app and all this stuff, and it's like. No, that's not how we teach it here.
We don't.
And it comes back to what you're saying that you need something to show.
Yeah, you need something to show. Second, you don't really build a console app in general for delivery. So like typically we're building a website or a Windows app. I know there's some console apps out there, and someone could probably show me an amazing one that they've rocked out in, something. But in general, you have to teach like read line, wait key, and all the front end stuff for console apps. So you have to teach all that just so that you can
build a console app.
So I can hit 1 through 8 and hit enter key,
right.
And so I might as well just teach you the website that takes an input and prints the 100 numbers to the screen. So I think that's a way better way because that's also an essential skill is building a UI, and then the UI has to do something and you learn how, because that's how we do it. We just skip console altogether. Sometimes you'll console log stuff. That's fine. That's what's
for debugging, right?
It's not to build the app in.
Right.
So it's like, it's just kind of crazy. I mean,
I remember at some point we had a console app it made its way into the bootcamp, and you were like, nah, that's not gonna fly.
What are we doing?
We're not having a console app. This is not gonna happen.
I'm sorry you wasted 3 months building that. You should have came and talked to me before you put it in there. It was an adventure-based game, which I didn't like anyway. But second, it was in a console, which was the death knell for it, and I just killed it. Don't do that anymore.
I distinctly remember that. We're not doing that anymore.
Put a UI on your adventure game. So
Hot Dog and a Handshake podcast, which I will check out. I don't know what they talk about, but I'm interested in the name. Super cool name.
That's kind of cool.
I like
All
that.
right. Tell us what your
Do you like
podcast is about.
Do you like Python?
So here's my goal about all of these languages. There's multiple ways to do this, and I'm not saying that my way is the only way. I think I'm pretty clear about it. There's multiple ways to do that. However, what I'll say about Python is, if you're in data science, that's the language to know. If you're building websites, I think there's better choices if you're starting from zero and you don't know anything at all, and you had to pick a web stack to build websites with so that you could get a job, Python's not your first choice to do that. Doesn't mean that you can't build websites with it. It's just that primarily that's in the data science arena. Now, if I was building data science, is the first thing I'm going to learn ML.NET? No, I'm going to learn probably TensorFlow and use Python for that. I'm not going to use JavaScript or C#. I'm going to probably be hitting the Python because that's what people are using in the industry to do. And that's my thing is like, I think there's other languages that are better suited for web development, and there's better things better suited for mobile development. Would you build a mobile site in Python? Could you? I guess. But is anyone hiring for that? No, they're hiring for Flutter. They're hiring for React Native, and they're hiring for .NET 6 Malware Xamarin. That's what they're hiring for. Yes, they're also hiring for native iOS, of Swift, so as well. But like, they're not hiring for Python to build that. There's multiple ways I think better for web development. But if you're doing data science, it's the choice to make for sure. I hope that helps. And tell us what your podcast is about.
There you go. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at that.
Oh, look at you! You got you got
I have no idea what the podcast is about. Oh, it's wrestling. Okay, so if you're into wrestling, go check these guys out. Hot Dog and Handshake. I like the little branding thing. This is cool. I like your little. We need little Pop Funko versions of us.
We do, don't we?
We need that.
We need Pop Funkos of us.
Yeah, Hot Dog and Handshake. Tell me did you make these or did you find these somewhere? I'm interested because I want little Pop Funko versions of us. I think that'd be cool.
What about Contact Us? Where are they located at?
I don't know.
They got a little 80s thing going on.
Oh, they have a form. I don't know.
They don't tell us. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I do like your branding though. You could do some cool things with this site. I like this. This thing's cool.
A little Tron action. I like it.
I like this style. It's super hot at the minute. Yeah, this like 80s throwback sort of Dr. Disrespect thing going on. I like it. It's cool.
Yeah, Hot Dog and a Handshake. There, we gave you a shout out. So hopefully that helped. So.
Okay. We were a little bit over. Let's do another one here. Let's talk about the bootcamp schedule a little bit. Rocco Gaze wants to know, what's the schedule like each week for CF students? Can someone working a full-time job do this?
No.
Not the virtual version, no.
No. It's just and if you want to
yes.
know, well, if you're considering it, Rockwell, I think that you can call in and I can give you more of a 20-minute, 30-minute discussion on like why we think this doesn't work. And why we don't do it is because we feel like even if you tried to do it, the outcome's not going to be what you expect. And so you end up spending money with Coda Foundry and you don't quite get the outcome because of the time commitment that we require. Our week is 40 hours in session with instructors per week, Monday through Friday. That means the instructor is with you 8 hours per day, and we're on a 10 a.m. Eastern Standard to 6 p.m. schedule. And that's 40 hours a week. And then outside of class, I would say expect to spend a Saturday or a Sunday, maybe 10 to 12 hours outside of class, and maybe even more to get the result you want. We're trying to change we're trying to do life change. So if you're coming to us and you don't know how to code or you don't have a job, you're not working in a tech job right now and you want us to do it, we feel like it takes 600 to 700 hours to do that. And so you're going to have to spend it. It's like going to the Marines in boot camp and then going to your 9 to 5 and you're just going to do Marine stuff like at night or something, and like, it's just not going to work, it just doesn't work. So what we try to do is be very transparent about our process and how we think it works. And then, just you miss all the instruction time if you're working during the day. There's just no way to do it. We've had several people that can't quit their full-time job to do it. And we understand that, which is why we're making the self-paced course, to give someone else another option to get access to our instructors, our content, so they can do it while they're working. And we understand that plight. But if you want to come to the boot camp, you need to figure out 3 months of life somehow. And that looks different for a lot of different people. So I hope that helps, Rockwell.
There you go. We're a little bit
All
over,
right.
so let's wrap this up.
Okay, cool. Wrap it up.
We'll be back on Thursday for more.
Back on Thursday. We'll be back
We,
on Thursday. Hopefully, have some other things to talk about. Follow us on Twitter at CT Bobby Davis at Coda Foundry. Check me out on LinkedIn. A lot of you guys are following me on LinkedIn as well. I'm on LinkedIn, and then join our Discord channel.
Yep.
So make sure that if we do announce the course, that you're wherever we might announce it at. It's all over the place. So, but when we do announce our course coming, just put it up there. Learn.codafoundry.com. You got a little banner. We'll announce it here first. Probably the official date will be announced here on one of our shows.
Yeah, we will. Yep. Well, as we've promised, we will officially announce it here first.
Yeah,
so.
Officially. But all right. Well, good luck and keep coding. As I always say, we will see you Thursday. And if you're in the Southeast like we are, stay dry, stay safe, and I'll see you on Thursday. Good luck, guys.
We'll catch you guys later.